Josick. Number 867 is Tyrone Arneson. 820 is Braden Beauchamp. 838 is Charlie Wilson. 899 is Scott Hike.
I don't know if Nick Bing got a good start. Something happened to Nick Bing. Who will come in the first turn first? Just a big group of trucks. Looks like Wilson, maybe.
Kenny Wilson pulls the hole shot in front of his hometown crowd. How about that? Wildman Willie Freshour out of the gates in second. I want to say that's Holcher in third there.
Looks like Willie already lost a headlight on that Ford. Boy, Wilson out front. And it looks like Holger in the 844 running third. Wilson tiptoeing his way through the gravel pit. Doesn't want to go too fast. Here comes Holger alongside a Freshour.
Yeah, Wildman Willie with those cab lights up on top looking good. Running in second place. There's Holger. Visser entered this race on a 3-race win streak dating back to Dirt City and then the 2 rounds at ERX. So he's another guy to watch out for as well.
There's Ben Holger in the 844. Look at the track. The moisture is crazy. Yeah, it's very, very slippery going through Argonne Turn. Look at Wilson still holding on to the lead. Kudos to him. Pulling hole shot here at his hometown track.
Yeah, him and Wildman Willie really are running away from the rest of this field. We've seen Wildman Willie mixing it up in the front of the pack a couple different times before, but Wilson got a little crossed up. It's got to be slick down there, though you see a lot of dust as well. Here we go, side by side, race for the lead. Wildman Willie Freshour is going to take over the lead from Ken Wilson.
Here comes Wilson to the bottom in Forest County, Potawatomi, turn number 1. You notice in that 180 by the starting line, Shady Wilson came in a little too hot and heavy, and you really got to be patient, especially on the first couple laps. It's really, really wet. You don't know how your truck or your tires are going to handle it.
Yeah, sometimes one tiny mistake is really all it comes down to, but look at Ken Wilson, great run down the hill. He's looking to the inside of Wildman Willie as they head down into the Polaris Razor gravel pit.
Oh, look at this, maybe a slide job. Look at Wilson.
Wilson trying to cross him up. They're side by side. They're going to bang doors a little bit. Still side by side as they head up the Polaris Razor jump.
Look at Freshour not getting out of the gas. Here comes Wilson to the inside.
Yeah, Freshour's got to be careful. You don't want to get stuck on the outside as we see a puff of smoke from Kenny Wilson.
Uh-oh, hopefully that's not a transmission issue going down on Kenny Wilson. Here comes Freshour to the inside once again. These guys are having fun out front.
Yeah, you can tell it's slick down there as Wildman Willie got a little bit crossed up. Here comes Ben Holzer now.
Here comes Kyle Cooper. Look at Kyle Cooper in the 873. He wants a piece of the top 3. Here comes Ben Holger. Ben Holger now making contact. Holger goes around.
Yeah, Kenny Wilson went around down in the Argonne corner. So that should be that Wildman Willie Freshour is your race leader right now, but look who's behind him. Here comes Cooper to the inside.
Boy, Kyle Cooper out-braked Willie Freshour. Here comes Visser, Nick Visser now in the top 3.
Wildman Willie, though, great run on the outside. Terrific run right now for Freshour. About a lap and a half in the books here. Yeah, Visser has now gotten around Cooper, so Visser second on the race course, and it's Cooper, Holcher, Beauchamp, Big, Wilson, Josick, and all the rest.
Freshour is showing a little smoke. No harm, no foul to the outside of that truck. Look at him just plowing through that cushion chain. Definitely the heavy, loamy dirt. They want to stay to that inside. Here comes Nick Visser. Visser's going to shoot to the inside of Freshour. Can he make the pass stick? This where it gets tricky on exit.
It's slick down there. You're going to see Wildman Willie get a run back on the left-hand side of Visser. It's a drag race, and it looks like Visser is going to take over the lead now.
Nick Visser
trying to make it 4 wins in a row if he can hold on and win here. Again, very slick down there in Calamity Corner.
Boy, Visser is so fast. He really knows how to put his laps together, especially here at Crandon. Look at Freshour is running right through the blue groove, and you watch Visser, he's just carrying his speed, barely missing that inside berm. And it's so tricky. I was able to drive these trucks for a couple of years, and they're so much fun. You really don't want to get out of shape with them because you scrub all that speed. You can go from 2nd to 10th. But when you're out in the lead, you just pick your lines, pick your marks. Don't overdrive the truck because it's so easy to do.
Brent, we're about to have one heck of a battle here for second place. Kyle Cooper is putting a ton of pressure right now on Wildman Willie Freshour.
Look at this. Look at Holger going inside.
Holger trying to get a 2-for-1 deal there on the hairpin.
Holger
those guys got around Freshour.
Boy, Kyle Cooper showing a lot of speed this afternoon. Here comes Ben Holger. They're side by side in turn 1. 70 plus miles an hour coming off the front doubles.
Holger's on the inside. Cooper checked up a little bit as they enter turn 2, and Holger is going to take over second place.
Holger's really doing a fine job. Bonsaiing off that little fadeaway jump going into the gravel pit. Very, very high speeds, and this is where you really have to hit your mark. Don't go over that cushion like Kyle Cooper did. Look at that gap. You just see Holger opening up about a 3-4 car length gap over Kyle Cooper.
Yeah, meanwhile, look at the lead that Visser has opened up over the rest of this field. Battle for second still hot and heavy right now between Holger and Cooper. Wildman Willie's still having a pretty good run. He's in 4th. Holger definitely the man on the move right now. Went from 5th to 2nd in about half a lap.
Yeah, that truck really, really works. If you watch it going through the turns, it used to have a little bit of a push in the beginning parts of the year. Now he rotates it early and gets that truck to turn. Watch as he goes right before left. Gets the rear of that truck set. Look at that. That exit is so much better. There's Freshour. Good start for him. Coming back towards Forest County, Potawatomi, turn number 1. Visser, Holger, Cooper, Freshour. Your top 4.
And everybody kind of spaced out a little bit now, but I believe we will be coming to our mid-race caution the next time past the finish line.
Trey Beauchamp looks to be about 6 seconds behind our leaders. He's in 5th right now in that 8:02. Going back to Kyle Cooper. Cooper's in 3rd, about 4 seconds behind that man right there, Nick Visser.
Now Cooper's had some success here at Crandon, but I was talking to him earlier this week. He has never won a race on Crandon's long track. He's only ever won on the short configuration, so he's seeking his first long track win as there's our competition caution.
Yeah, Shane, this race isn't over yet. These trucks are very, very quick, and who knows who was maybe saving a little bit for the second half of this race, especially it comes down to tires. You knew the track is going to throw a lot of moisture on it throughout the day. That's what you've seen race to race. And it goes to, are you on an all-terrain, you on a mud terrain? So you could have started off a little slippery. Now that we're getting down to that hard packed surface, those all-terrains will really start biting.
All right, we've got Haley Shandley trackside. Haley, what do you have for us?
Just wanted to chime in with some information on our current second place position holder, Ben Holger, who currently sits 3 in that points championship. He has been consistently fighting his way to the front of the pack this year. His best finish came in round 5, where he garnered a second place finish at ERX Motor Park. And in fact, that second place finish was on a brand new power plant. He is showing some tremendous speed here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway. I'd say that motor is a good one. So keep your eyes on him. I know he's going to be gunning for that first place finish.
All right, thanks, Haley. And yeah, definitely Holger has some magic working right now as he's second. And, you know, he's been on a charge through the field over this last couple rounds. And the only guy riding a hotter streak right now than Holger has got to be Nick Visser with 3 race wins in a row coming into this race. And he's out front at halfway.
Yeah, definitely. And then you look down our screen, the 8th spot, Joey Majosik, 2 points coming in. He had that lead by. So we'll have to see if Joey can work his way up into the top 5, help his points day. But right now, it's Visser, Holger, Cooper, Freshour, your top 4. Watch Ben Holger. He has the speed. The car works very, very well. Watch that gravel pit to be a big, big factor. There's Nick Big now Big had a horrible start. Finds himself in 4th, or 5th actually. Watch as they're going to wait to take that restart flag. There goes Visser.
Yeah, Visser took off pretty much right away at that first cone. Pretty even restart. Nobody really able to gain an advantage there. Visser just has so much raw speed in that truck, though. He's just able to accelerate away from everybody else.
Yeah, he really does. He pulled a big gap on that restart. Here comes Ben Holger. Watch Holger. He needs to try to go to that inside. He needs to run a half a line off of our leader if he wants to get to it. Look at him. He creeps in just a little bit on exit. There is a faster line through there.
4 laps to go here in Super Stock Truck. Bolger getting a little bit sideways.
Yeah, he scrubbed a little bit of speed. You don't want to open up the door. Kyle Cooper will slap him on the back and take that spot away. Bolger just trying to drive the wheels off that thing. He just needs to keep going forward. Oh, he makes a little mistake there. Watch Cooper. Going to try to go underneath.
Yeah, it might come down to who can make fewer mistakes here in the second half.
You watch the front ends and the rears of these trucks, and they have what you call a brake bias. You watch as the front locks up, the rear will lock up at a different time. They can actually put more forward brake or more rear brake, so it's pretty cool.
Look at this, Wildman Willie Freshour got into Cooper. They both go around.
Freshour coming in there, collecting another truck. Here's Bolger once again coming back towards Forest County, Potawatomi, turn number 1. There's Nick Visser. Boy, Visser went really, really wide.
Yeah, Visser has about a 7 or 8 car length lead now over Holger. Cooper still in 3rd.
Boy, Kyle Cooper in that 873, the old Rough Riders look forward. There's Trey Beauchamp. But Nick Bing, can't say enough about Nick Bing, last year's points champion. Trying to work his way up back into the top 3. There's Trey Beauchamp, the 802. You see Braden Beauchamp on the left of your screen falling out of this race early. Tough break for the rookie here in 2020.
Riding along now with Nick Visser, trying to make this 4 wins in a row. I mean, we talked about some earlier win streaks that we had this year, but to do that in Super Stock Truck is really, really remarkable.
Yeah, we have tons of trucks throughout this race season, and last year, you never know who's going to win. I mean, people are like, who's going to pull a whole shot? I don't know, because who's going to come out of the gate with their head on straight? Kyle Cooper, throttle is wide open going in that back section, trying to chase down the top 2. There's Freshour.
Yeah, tough break for Wildman Willie, running out front early on.
Well, I seen a glimpse of Holger. He's just sitting right there, about 4 or 5 car lengths behind our race leader, Nick Visser. And then they gap out after that.
Yeah, really, at this point, it's a 2-car race for the lead. Nick Bing running in 4th.
Wow, Bing just all crossed up, pitching it off the barn turn. That could get fishy. Pop a beadlock off the side of that truck.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because Trey Beauchamp is within striking distance.
Visser's going to come around, clip off another lap. This should be lap 6 out of 8 this time by. Visser, Holger, Cooper, Bing, Beauchamp. Your top 5, 2 to go.
Still a lot of wet spots on this track, Brent.
Yeah, they've been straddling that inside little chicane after the start finish line there. Trying to just go through it is another story. They're just trying to stay in that dry groove. Look at the sun. Maybe could be playing a factor heading in that back.
Yeah, we talked about it before during the 450 mod cards. We saw one of the drivers holding a hand up to block out the sun.
There's Nick Bing running 4th. Look at Trey Beauchamp coming in all hot and heavy in that 180. Trying to rotate it early. it's so hard to come in there with a super stock truck and pinch it off so tight, because on exit you just lose all that ground as you see Nick Bing stretching away that gap once again. Here's Machosik. Machosik's now up into the top 6, so trying to get as many points as possible, as Visser should be coming to the white flag this time by a couple turns to go.
Yeah, Visser still running strong out front. Probably has about a 12-car length lead over Holcher.
Such a cool shot by our drone. Visser's really cleaned up that corner nicely, as he's done throughout the second half of this race. One of my favorite turns right here, Shane. You come in this finish line turn, you just rotate it in. He's pushing through there, but running that cushion at the same time, so it's carrying his speed. White flag out for the 880.
Looks like he still holds about a 2-second advantage over Holcher. So that's a lot of ground to make up with only 1 lap left.
They say you really got to get into that flow, and that's what Visser has done this afternoon. Once again, like you said, he's on some bit of a win streak here in 2020. A couple fiberglass panels just weaving in and out. No harm on that truck at all. Again, we're on the white flag lap here in Super Stock Truck for the 51st Polaris, 51st anniversary here for the Polaris Off-Road World Championships here this weekend.
One last time through turn 1 and down past the crowd here at Crandon International. Nick Visser on his way to a 4th straight win at Super Stock. Tell you what though, Holcher's not going away. He's gonna have to shoot a shot down here in the gravel pit, but
yeah, there's no hope, hopefully, for Visser to make any kind of mistake. But watch his Holcher, he needs to strider right through the bottom. If you're close enough, try to take away any little bit of speed that Visser has. But look at that, same line as before, exiting very, very nicely. And I think he's gonna do it, Shane.
yeah, Visser just not making any mistakes, not opening the door at all for Holcher or any of the rest of the guys. One last time into Calamity Corner as the sun sets in the background. Nick Visser takes the win here in round 7 Super Stock Truck. Holcher across the line 2nd, Kyle Cooper 3rd. That class is never disappointing, Brent, I swear.
No, absolutely not. Anyone can win at any given time, but the Parsons Chevrolet of Nick Visser is going to take the big win this afternoon. Holger 2nd, Cooper 3rd, Beauchamp with a good run in 4th. Then it's Bing, Machosik, Schunk, and Jorgensen, your top 7. So,
And Nick Visser's got to have the rest of this class really second-guessing themselves, kind of scratching their heads, so to speak.
yeah, definitely, he really laid down some great lap times. Nick Visser and his crew putting together a tough.
That's right. Kyle Cooper, Kyle, a very fruitful race as far as that points championship goes for you. I know you for sure are a title contender this season. Give us a reaction to this round. How was it for you?
It was tough. Started out and with a land rush within 50 feet, you know if you had a good start and a bad one. And I knew right away I had a pretty bad one. So was able to make a couple quick moves, and then it was really dicey. I went through all my tear-offs in the first 2 laps, and I was wiping my visor the rest of the time. And driving into the sun on the backstretch was dicey. That's what cost me the lead, because these guys got tangled. My helmet was covered in dirt, and I was starting to drive off towards the grass in the land rush, and then Nick got by me. And but all in all, like you said, it was a good points day. I kept tabs on Joey, and I saw trucks on him, so I knew it was going to be a good points day. But I got to give it up. I got to thank the Lord. He blessed us with a great day. Blessed me with a great crew, great family. I got a ton of guys here this weekend. Classic Instruments, Dynamic Converter, Wolverine Performance, Chief Super Shop. Nick's got to slow down a little bit. He's been getting a lot of these wins. We got to slow him up tomorrow. But we'll give him a run. It'll be good.
Well, I know you're a guy that can make that happen. Congratulations, Kyle Cooper in 3rd. And in 2nd, Ben Holcher. Ben, what were you finding out there in order to move forward like you did in that one?
Well, I got a pretty good start. I think I came out about 3rd and got tangled up in the back with some guys who spun out, and I back and forth 5th for a little while, and I raced past Kyle again. in turn one on the outside and got myself back up to the second and was able to stay there.
And let's talk about after that competition caution, you know, you guys, we can throw a blanket over you guys. The racing is always so tight and competitive in this class. So speak to the competitive nature of the super stock truck division.
It's the best class out there for sure, but these are some awesome guys. We're all friends on and off the track, and it's just some really good, tight racing out there.
Who would you like to thank?
My wife, first and foremost, for letting me do this.
That's right.
Corey, for putting in all the extra work, and Ron and everybody in my family who just keeps busting ass to make this work, and Holter Brothers, Nick Holter Construction, Corey's Crank and Nail, Yokohama Tires for stepping up and getting me on their tire program, and yeah.
Ben Holter, a job well done. Congratulations. And we're going to call him 4-Pete, 4 wins in a row for Nick Visser. How were you able to get this one done here today?
Well, just being patient at the beginning. I kind of got pinched off coming into turn one, and I just know that you ain't going to win in turn one, so I backed off and played it safe. And the track, I thought it was going to be muddy, you know, it was a little bit, and it just turned out really good. And these Yokohama tires have just been tearing it up on the track, and I can't thank them guys enough. But yeah, just patience, and thanks to my spotter, Luke. He always just keeps me calm. That's the biggest thing with me, is I like somebody just talking and let me know how it's going. And other than that, the track turned out beautiful, and I can't thank all my sponsors enough. Parsons, Builder Service, Advanced Pest Management, Mac Daddy Lawn Care, the rest of it. I'm sorry, I just get speechless up here. Thanks everybody, my family, my crew, my wife, my kids, and they put up with this crazy thing we do, and I just can't thank everybody enough. Thank you.
And let me ask you too, as you pull into victory lane, you're clearly pumped up, but as you get the helmet off, it almost looked like it was a sense of relief for you. So walk me through those first emotions as you get the helmet off in victory lane.
Well, just, you know, I made it through the race. You know, at the beginning of this year, it was tough getting through the race, and getting around these guys and make sure I just don't screw up. And, you know, from there, it's me. You know, all I can do is just keep pushing the truck and make sure I keep it to hold it together and just hit my line. That's all I can do.
And you do it well.
And you do it well, she says. Congratulations, Nick Visser, on the big win.